There's a quiet power in becoming the man she can't stop thinking about. Not because you're blowing up her phone, not because you're chasing her or trying to force attention, but because you've become something rare in her world, calm, steady, and quietly magnetic. You stand out without needing to perform. You're not trying to be the loudest in the room. You're becoming the one who leaves a lasting impression after you've already left. It's about creating a presence that lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. The kind of presence that makes her wonder what you're doing, who you're becoming, and why no one else feels quite like you. Whether she admits it or not, her thoughts circle back to you, because a man who masters his energy, his time, and his emotional state is unforgettable. In this video, I'll break down exactly how to become that man. The man who doesn't have to chase, because he knows how to attract. Let's dive in. Number 1, be the calm she can't find anywhere else. Life is already chaotic for most people. Deadlines, social media, family problems, overthinking. Her mind is probably racing every day. Most guys add more to that mental chaos. They bring arguments, confusion, or neediness, and that's why they're forgettable. But when you become the one person who brings her peace instead of problems, something shifts in her mind. She starts to associate you with relief, with clarity, with that rare feeling of, I can finally breathe. This is where Stoicism comes in. A Stoic man doesn't react emotionally to every situation. He doesn't seek validation. He doesn't get thrown off by mood swings or petty arguments. He stays calm, steady, and centered, no matter what. And here's the secret. When a woman feels that kind of emotional stability from you, she won't want to lose it. Imagine this. She's had a stressful day. She's overwhelmed. Maybe she's annoyed at work, frustrated with friends, or just mentally drained. And then she thinks of you. Why? Because you're the calm in her storm. You're the man who doesn't add pressure, but dissolves it. She remembers how she feels when she's around you. Safe, peaceful, seen. That's addictive. That's how you stay on her mind. Think of Marcus Aurelius. He led armies, ruled an empire, faced betrayal. But inside, he kept his mind still like a quiet lake. You can be that same kind of presence for her. You don't need to say you're different. You show it by staying composed, by being unbothered by the small things, by never losing control of your emotions. So remember this. It's not always about chasing her attention or trying to impress her. Sometimes, the most powerful move is becoming the one man who gives her mind a rest. That's how you stay unforgettable. That's how you make her think about you long after you're gone. Number 2, master the art of mysterious presence. Don't be an open book on the first page. Think about it. Most men rush to reveal everything too soon. They spill their life story, their emotions, their intentions, all at once. And while honesty is valuable, timing matters even more. When you reveal too much too quickly, you remove the very thing that keeps a woman thinking about you when you're not around. Curiosity. Let her wonder, what's on his mind? What's his next move? That question looping in her head is exactly what makes you unforgettable. It's not about playing games. It's about letting your presence breathe, leaving space for mystery. When you do that, you create room for her imagination to fill in the gaps. And trust me, imagination is often more powerful than reality. Mystery is powerful when it's real, not when it's forced. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Just don't feel pressured to explain every thought, every feeling, or every step you're planning to take. You're not auditioning for approval. You're simply living with purpose, and sometimes that means staying quietly focused on your goals. As Seneca said, silence is a lesson in itself. It teaches patience. It teaches discipline. And most importantly, it keeps your energy centered on things you can control, your actions, your mindset, your mission, not on trying to constantly reassure or entertain someone else. For example, you've just had a great conversation with her. Instead of following it up with endless texts trying to keep the moment alive, you pull back a little. You let her sit with the memory of that connection. You give her space to miss your energy. While she's scrolling her phone, while she's laying in bed at night, that silence becomes a question in her mind. Why hasn't he reached out yet? Is he thinking about me? That's when you've planted a seed. And it starts to grow. Being mysterious doesn't mean being cold. It means mastering the balance between closeness and distance, between showing interest and showing self-restraint. It means letting her discover you layer by layer, not all at once. Before we dive into the next part, take a second to reflect. Are you letting her imagination work for you, or are you giving away too much too soon? If this is resonating with you, hit the like button so I know you're getting value from this. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts, or simply type, "Silence plants the seed." That way, I'll know you're ready to take this to the next level. All right, let's keep going. Number 3, live an interesting life, with or without her. Let's face it, most guys sabotage themselves without realizing it. They think that being constantly present in a woman's life will make her like them more. But in reality, the opposite happens. The more you orbit around her world, the easier it is for her to take you for granted. You become part of the background noise, not the mystery that lingers in her mind. If you want to make her think about you constantly, the first rule is this: stop waiting for her. Start building your life. Don't press pause on your goals just because you're interested in someone. Focus on the things that set your soul on fire. Your passions, your projects, your mission. Whether it's learning a new language, building your business, getting stronger at the gym, or even traveling to new places. Fill your life with experiences that make you come alive. When you do that, you naturally create emotional distance. Not because you're trying to ignore her, but because you're genuinely busy becoming someone greater. And that gap you create, that's where desire lives. She starts to wonder, what's he doing right now? Why isn't he chasing me like the others? Who is he becoming without me? Her mind starts replaying moments you've shared, trying to piece together your next move. That's how you stay unforgettable. Think about it like this. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up every day asking, "Who's thinking about me today?" He focused on virtue, discipline, and inner strength. He didn't live for anyone's approval. He lived for his own growth. And ironically, that's exactly why people still think about him centuries later. His presence was real, not needy. His life was about service, not validation. You need that same energy in modern life. Be the man who's on his own path, the man who is not emotionally dependent on one person's attention, the man who's too busy building something meaningful to sit around refreshing his phone. When she sees that you are fully engaged in your own life, whether she's part of it or not, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. Why? Because you've become rare. And in a world full of men desperate for validation, rarity is magnetic. So remember this: mystery isn't about playing cold or distant. It's about having a life so fulfilling that she can't help but wonder what's going on inside your world. Your job is not to make her like you more. Your job is to become so centered in your purpose that your energy naturally draws her in. Stay busy. Stay focused. Live for your mission, not for her attention. And trust me, when you do that, you won't have to chase her thoughts. She'll bring you there herself. Number 4, give her emotional highs and space to miss you. This is one of the simplest but most powerful ways to stay on a woman's mind constantly. You see, most men either do too much or too little. They flood her with attention, or they disappear completely. But a Stoic man? He understands rhythm. He knows life isn't meant to be lived at one constant pace. There's a time to show up fully, and there's a time to step back and let the seeds of connection grow on their own. When you're with her, give her something real. Be fully present. Look her in the eyes. Not scrolling your phone, not distracted, but actually there. Share moments that matter, even if they're simple. Laugh with her. Listen to her like no one else does. Make her feel like the center of your world for that moment. But then, don't overstay in that space. That's where most men fall into the trap. They get addicted to the closeness, so they stick around too long and become predictable. The mystery fades. The desire cools. And slowly, she stops thinking about you because she knows exactly where you are and what you're doing. Think of Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire by day, retreating to his journal by night. That's how you should live, too. After you've given her those emotional highs, those moments of joy, laughter, and connection, you step back. You return to your purpose, your work, your solitude. It's in the space you create that her thoughts begin to circle back to you. She replays the things you said. She remembers how you made her feel. She starts wondering what you're up to now. That's when curiosity turns into longing. Imagine you take her on a simple date. Maybe you grab coffee, walk through a park, talk about life, about dreams, about little things no one else asks her. You make her laugh, you make her feel seen. And then, you don't text her constantly afterward. You let her sit with the memory. You let her mind wander. Did he enjoy it? Is he thinking about me? What's he doing right now? Those are the thoughts that begin to bloom when you give her space. Remember, emotional connection needs both presence and absence. Too much of either will break the tension. But when you learn how to balance the two, like a Stoic balancing action and reflection, you become unforgettable. Number 5, stay unshakable, even when she tests you. At some point, she'll test your patience, your boundaries, your emotional control. It might be subtle, a playful tease to see if you're easily thrown off balance. Or it might be direct, pushing your buttons to see if you'll break character. This is normal. It's part of human psychology. People, especially women, test to find out if the man in front of them is truly who he claims to be. Most men crumble in these moments. They get reactive, raise their voice, send a long emotional text, or try to over-explain themselves. They fall into the trap of needing to be understood right away. But when you react like that, you lose the frame. You lose the respect. You become forgettable, like every other man who folds under emotional pressure. But you won't do that. Because you're different. You're rooted. Like a tree in the middle of a storm, you don't get knocked over just because the winds pick up for a while. You don't overreact. You observe. You stay present. You listen, but you don't absorb chaos. That's what makes you stand out. Marcus Aurelius dealt with the weight of an empire, yet he still wrote to himself, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it." Think about that. The situation isn't the problem. The problem is how you choose to view it. So when she tests you, remind yourself, it's not an attack. It's an invitation to show you're calm, to demonstrate that you're not ruled by impulse. Let's make this real for a second. Imagine you're out to dinner with her. Everything's fine, and suddenly she says something sharp. Maybe she brings up your past. Maybe she pokes at your ego just to see what happens. Most men would react emotionally, get defensive, or try to win the moment. But you take a slow breath. You look at her, not with anger, but with calm curiosity. Maybe you respond with a simple, "Interesting? Why do you say that?" Or maybe you say nothing at all, just letting the silence do the heavy lifting. That's the moment she'll remember. Long after the night is over, she'll replay it in her mind. Why didn't he lose his cool? Why didn't he get triggered? Is he really that steady? Or is there more to him that I don't understand yet? That kind of mystery makes you unforgettable. It makes her think about you when you're not around, because she realizes you're not just reacting, you're operating from a deeper place. Before we move on, think about this. Do you react or do you respond with calm? The man who stays grounded leaves a lasting impression, because real strength is quiet. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts, or just type "calm over chaos" to lock in this mindset. Let's keep going. Number 6, lead with values, not validation. That's one of the most powerful shifts you can make, not just in relationships, but in life. Most men don't realize this, but the moment you start chasing a woman's approval, you stop being the man she was drawn to in the first place. You become reactive. You wait for her to text back. You overthink your next move, and slowly, without even noticing, you hand over your power. But there's another path, a Stoic path. One that begins when you stop living for her reactions and start living for your own values. Epictetus said it best. First decide what kind of man you want to be. Then do what you have to do. Notice he didn't say, "Be the man she wants you to be." He said, "Decide for yourself." That's where the shift happens. Imagine this. You're no longer waking up wondering if she likes you today. Instead, you're asking yourself, did I live according to my code today? Did I act with integrity? Did I keep my promises to myself? That's real power. And here's the paradox. When you stop seeking her validation and start leading with your values, she starts thinking about you more. Why? Because you've become rare. Let's say you're out with her, and instead of trying to impress her with flashy stories or fake confidence, you quietly show consistency. You listen more than you speak. You don't need to dominate the conversation because you're secure in your presence. Maybe you leave early because you've got training in the morning, or you're working on a project that matters to you. You don't apologize for having priorities. You embrace them. And when you do this, something shifts in her mind. She starts to wonder, who is this man? Why doesn't he need me to validate him? What's going on in his life when I'm not around? That's how you become unforgettable. Not by being always available, but by being grounded in who you are, whether she's watching or not. So ask yourself right now, what values are you leading with? Are you building discipline, calm, purpose, or are you chasing moments of attention, hoping for another dopamine hit? The Stoic man doesn't obsess over who texts first. He obsesses over becoming the best version of himself. And when you live that way, you naturally take up space in her mind. Not because you forced it, but because you've become the kind of man who's simply impossible to forget. Number 7, control your attention like it's currency. Attention is like money. You don't throw it around carelessly. Not if you're wise. And definitely not if you want to make a woman think about you constantly. See, most men don't realize this, but attention is the most powerful tool in attraction. It's not flowers, long texts, or grand declarations. It's where you choose to focus your energy. And if you give too much too soon, you lose your value in her mind. It's human nature. When something is always available, it fades into the background. It becomes ordinary. Suppose you meet a woman you're interested in. Things are going well. There's chemistry. Now, the common mistake is to go all in right away. Text her constantly, reply in seconds, check her stories, like all her posts. But when you do that, you're basically telling her, "Here's all my attention for free. I'm wide open. You don't have to earn it." And just like that, the mystery is gone. The pull is weakened. But if you pace yourself, if you give your attention selectively, you create space. And it's in that space where curiosity grows. She starts to wonder, what's he doing right now? Why hasn't he texted yet? Is he thinking about me? That's when you become unforgettable. Not because you're flooding her with messages, but because you've mastered the art of strategic absence. Think of it like this. When you go to the market, you don't spend all your money in the first stall. You walk around, compare, think carefully before you choose where to invest. Your attention should be no different. Don't give it away cheaply. Make it meaningful. Make it earned. A Stoic man lives by this discipline because he knows his focus is sacred. He doesn't overextend for validation, and he's not controlled by impulses. He chooses when to engage and when to retreat. And this balance, it leaves a lasting impression. So before we move on, take a moment to reflect on this. Are you spending your attention wisely, or are you handing it out like spare change? Think about the last time you gave too much, too soon. How did that work out for you? The truth is, mastering your attention is one of the highest forms of self-respect. And when you do that, you naturally create a sense of value and mystery that keeps you on her mind, even when you're not around. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you ever tried pulling back your attention and noticed a shift in how she responded? Drop a comment below and share your experience. Or simply type, "My attention is my power." Let's keep the conversation going. Number 8. Be the man who can walk away peacefully. Most people don't know how to leave situations peacefully. They either explode, argue, send long emotional texts, or try to manipulate the outcome. But a man who is anchored in Stoic principles knows better. He understands that control over himself is more important than control over others. Like Epictetus said, "We cannot control external events, only our responses to them." So when things get shaky, when she pulls away, tests you, ignores you, you don't flinch, you don't chase. You simply observe, and if the situation no longer aligns with your peace, you let go, quietly, respectfully, but completely. Imagine you're dating a woman, and everything seems great at first. But then, maybe she starts playing hot and cold. She takes longer to reply, cancels plans last minute, or throws subtle tests your way to see if you'll tolerate disrespect. Now, this is the moment where most men panic. They send multiple messages, try to fix it, get into arguments, or worse, beg for attention. But you're different. You recognize the shift, and instead of feeding the chaos, you choose peace. You step back, not out of weakness, but out of strength. You go to the gym. You spend time with your friends. You focus on your work, your passions, your own growth. And you do it with a quiet mind, because your self-worth isn't tied to anyone's validation. That's when the real shift happens, not in you, but in her. While you're building your life, she's replaying that moment. The way you stayed composed, the way you didn't fold under pressure, the way you valued your time enough to not waste it on emotional games. She starts wondering, did I just lose a man who actually respects himself? Did I underestimate someone who's truly rare? And here's the part that makes her think about you constantly. Your absence is not empty. It's powerful. It carries the echo of your calm presence. It reminds her of the emotional safety you brought, of the drama you refused to create, and of the fact that you were solid even when tested. That's unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and you have the power to revoke that at any moment." In other words, you control how much power you give to someone else's actions. When you master that, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. Not because you forced it, but because you showed her something rare. A man who can care, but still walk away in peace when respect is no longer on the table. Number 9. Surprise her with depth, not just charm. Charm is fun, but depth is unforgettable. Anyone can be charming for a night. A well-timed compliment, a playful smirk, a funny story, that's easy. But ask yourself this: when you're no longer around, what is she replaying in her mind? Is it just your smile? Or is it something deeper? If you want to make her think about you constantly, you have to give her something most men never do. A glimpse into the parts of you that aren't obvious. The way you see life, the way you handle struggle, your ideas about purpose, growth, or even failure. When you start sharing those layers, you give her something rare in today's world: substance. Most guys stay in shallow waters. They talk about the same topics, repeat the same flirty lines, keep things light because it feels safer. But the truth is, people don't stay up at night thinking about surface-level conversations. They get stuck thinking about the moments when they felt seen, challenged, or awakened. And that's where you have the upper hand, if you choose to go deeper. Try this the next time you're talking to her. Instead of just asking, "What do you like to do for fun?" Ask, "What makes you feel alive?" Or instead of, "How was your day?" Ask, "What's something you're working on right now that no one knows about?" Watch how her energy shifts. She might pause. She might even hesitate at first, because people aren't used to being asked questions that matter. But later, when she's alone, she'll think about you. She'll wonder, why did that moment feel so different? Why do I keep thinking about him? The Stoics remind us that life is short, and real connection is rare. Seneca wrote, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." The same goes for your conversations with her. It's not about how long you talk. It's about how real you allow it to be. By surprising her with depth, you're not just becoming another guy she chats with. You become the man whose words echo in her mind at unexpected moments. And that's how you make her think about you constantly. Not because you forced it, but because you gave her something she can't easily find anywhere else. Number 10. Stay unpredictable but consistent. That's the secret most men overlook when they ask, "How do I make her think about me constantly?" Here's the truth. If you're too predictable, her mind will drift. But if you're too chaotic, she won't trust you. The balance is this: you need to be consistent in who you are, but unpredictable in how you show up. That's what locks her attention in and keeps her wondering about you when you're not around. Consistency means your core doesn't waver. Your values stay solid. Your respect for yourself, your purpose, your discipline, that's not up for negotiation. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up each morning asking himself, "Should I still live by my principles today or not?" No, He made a decision about the kind of man he wanted to be, and he stayed on that path. That's the part you don't change. She needs to sense that when she interacts with you. But the way you express yourself, that's where the unpredictability comes in. Keep her guessing, not in stressful ways, but in ways that awaken curiosity. One day you might send her a thoughtful quote that made you reflect on life. The next day you might share a joke or send a random photo of something cool you noticed on your walk. Maybe today you invite her into a deep conversation about fear and courage. Tomorrow, you keep it light and playful, teasing her just enough to make her smile. Or think about the way you interact in person. Don't let your energy get stuck on autopilot. If you always take her to the same places or talk about the same topics, her mind will start to wander. But when you surprise her with a new experience, a quiet coffee shop you just found, a book recommendation she didn't expect, a moment of calm silence while watching the sunset, those are the things that echo in her mind long after you've left. Stoicism teaches us to be steady like a tree, but alive like the wind. The roots stay planted. That's your values, your discipline, your sense of self. But the leaves, the way the branches sway, that's your spontaneity, your curiosity, your ability to bring something new into the moment. When you master both, you become the man who isn't just there. You're the man she keeps replaying in her mind. And here's the real secret. When you live like this, you're not trying to make her think about you. You're just fully present in life, fully engaged in becoming the best version of yourself. And that energy? It's magnetic. She'll think about you not because you pushed for it, but because you've become the rare man she can't figure out completely. And yet she trusts him anyway. That's a combination she won't forget. At the end of the day, becoming the man she constantly thinks about isn't about chasing. It's not about playing games or trying to control her emotions. It's about becoming someone so rare, so grounded, so quietly magnetic, that you naturally stay on her mind. You're the calm in the chaos. You're the depth in a shallow world. You're the man who leads with purpose, who can walk away in peace, and who lives an interesting life, with or without her. And that's exactly why she can't forget you. If this video helped you shift your mindset, let me know in the comments. What part spoke to you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're serious about leveling up as a man, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Also, don't stop here. The journey continues. Click on one of the videos on your screen now to dive deeper into becoming the best version of yourself. I'll see you there.